Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. Now, it seems that no matter how clearly and simply atheism is defined, a lot of believers just don't seem to get it. I don't know whether they're being deliberately obtuse or whether they're just that stupid. Some insist that atheism is a religion. It is in fact the opposite of a religion. There are no atheist services or even churches. No atheist rituals or dogma, and most important, no tithing. You cannot overestimate the importance of money in religion. Money may not actually be the root of all evil, but it is the seed of corruption. And all churches are inherently corrupt. And there is no atheist leader. There are some atheists who are more famous than other atheists, but they speak only for themselves. Nobody speaks for all atheists. Atheism is not a belief. It is a lack of belief. It is an unwillingness to believe just what we're told just because most other people do. We demand evidence. And let's face it, that evidence just doesn't exist. Some people insist that atheism is an excuse to act immorally. The truth is, atheism doesn't address the issue of morality one way or the other. Every atheist is on his own and must justify his actions to his own conscience. It is religion that serves as an excuse to behave immorally, not atheism. Believers are the ones who go around killing people because they don't believe the same as they do. Atheists don't do that. Religion, all religions have their holy books, and if you look in those books, you can find justification for every crime to rape, from rape to mass murder, and everything in between. And crime statistics show that atheists are actually less likely to wind up in prison than believers. Now, some believers insist that atheists secretly believe in God. We don't. Or that we are angry at God. We're not. We do find some of God's followers pretty irritating, especially those who would impose their religious views on everybody else. We're not angry at God or at believers, but we will defend our right to not follow the laws of any religion. The idea that our laws should be based on the Bible is not only stupid and ridiculous, but if you look at the Bible, Sharia law is right there. Biblical law and Sharia law are the same thing. If biblical law were actually imposed on the United States, we would be practicing Sharia. We also object to the teaching of creationism as science. Fairy tales belong in storybooks, not in science class. You know, there's a saying that there are no atheists in foxholes. Actually, there are plenty of us in foxholes. And when soldiers are severely wounded, they don't scream for God. They scream for their mothers, and then they scream for a medic. But believers like to think that when death approaches, atheists will panic and turn to God. Sorry, folks, that just doesn't happen. We atheists recognize that death is a natural part of life, and we cope with it as we do with the rest of life. When we encounter hard times, we cope with them as best we can. We don't turn to prayer. And when death approaches, we don't turn to prayer either. Now, I'm 65, and I'm pretty healthy, and I feel pretty good. But I do recognize that death is a lot closer than it once was. I realize that every night when I go to bed, there's a possibility I won't wake up the next morning. And you know what? I'm at peace with that. There is no terror, no dread. I'm fine with it. The reason why so many believers are convinced that atheists will panic and turn to God at the prospect of death is because they are the ones that are terrified, and with good reason. All gods were created by primitive humans out of their most primordial fears. And they are all capricious, violent, angry, undependable, and abusive. We're told that God loves us, but there's precious little evidence of that. When I go to bed, I don't give any thought at all to an afterlife. A believer faces the prospect of being judged by a creature out of a nightmare, who might just decide that he should be punished in the most horrible ways forever. And that's something to be afraid of. Thanks for listening.